we can turn this into something positive and maybe it'll spread.
He's the most positive person on his job. Now you're cured.
I feel good.
Good morning and welcome to Positively Milwaukee. We all know the pandemic has been so hard on many businesses, but what's exciting is when one thrives in spite of it. A Milwaukee native is trying to create positive change through fashion. Katie Crowther tells us how he's building his brand.
The collection that you see behind me is Spring Summer 22.
Oliver Prime is the creator of a clothing line that's generated more than $250,000 in sales over the past year. It's called Among the Prime.
What does it mean? How'd you come up with that?
That's what I wanted everybody to feel like.
You wanted them to feel prime.
Yeah, I wanted them to find their greatest state in life and stay there.
Oliver grew up in Milwaukee and focused on design and architecture at Bradley Tech, going on to UWM. His path to the fashion industry was anything but typical.
I started selling t-shirts while I was in college, and I literally walked into my advisor's office one day and I said, yeah, I don't think I'm coming back. I think I'm just gonna sell the shirts out this duffel bag. And it kind of started there.
Soon, through word of mouth, local musicians and artists started asking him to produce their gear. He moved to New York City for a few years to grow his business more.
Creating so many people's things nonstop. You know, you get to the point where you're just like, yo, what am I doing for me?
So he got back to what he loves.
This collection is inspired by architecture. One of those big things is Santiago Calatrava's, the art museum that we have here. You know, like growing up, seeing things like that and being like, how can I build something like that?
There are Milwaukee influences in every stitch. It was important for Oliver to create here in his hometown.
I wanted to build it here because we don't have that. And man, it just means a lot to be able to do something out of this city. You know what I mean? To do something creative out this city, make it work.
His team includes 3 others.
We all go at it nonstop.
Oliver wants to show other young people in our city it's possible to pursue your dream right here. And he hopes to be an example and source of support like his grandparents were for him.
They're the ones who pushed me the most and believed in me the most. And anytime I ran into any roadblocks, you know, they were the ones to be like, don't let that get you down. Like, you can do anything.
The work goes beyond fashion. Oliver partnered with local artist Webster X to create Black is Beautiful last summer. Amid racial tensions and nationwide protesting against injustice, they organized a citywide bike ride where thousands of people came together to take a breath. It's become an annual event.
I think that it's not easy here. I think we get profiled a lot. And I think that's where Black is Beautiful came in. Honestly, we were mad. We were a little bit agitated and we wanted to turn it into a positive. And Among the Prime is that portal of where anything is possible. So me and Webb, we talked and we decided to use that as a direction to create something better out of it and to uplift people.
His goal in life and in fashion.
Great messages. The Calatrava is so stunning and it's great to see it mirrored in Oliver's pieces. Thank you for using fashion to make Milwaukee a better place. What do you know about bonsai trees? If you're like me, it's probably not a ton, but last weekend James Grow learned all about them and how they're grown.
The number of trees that can be bonsai is a good thing, and for some of us it's a bad thing because it's our addiction.
That's Brian Lawrenson, the president of the Milwaukee Bonsai Club. I mean society.
Because we're cooler than a club. It's ancient trees, it's cool.
This weekend, he and many of his fellow bonsai sculptors are putting their best pieces of art on display at the Linden Sculpture Garden in Milwaukee for the 50th exhibit of the Milwaukee Bonsai Society. It's a free event.
It's a combination of being a gardener and being Michelangelo.
I had no idea sculpting bonsai trees was so intense. The Karate Kid made it look so easy.
But you need to learn a lot more than what Mr. Miyagi can clip off with his scissors.
Trees don't grow fast, so it takes years to create these sculptures. Plus, if you snap a branch, that could be a decades-long mistake. What I learned while at the exhibit is so many types of trees can be bonsai trees. This is a redwood, which is one of the tallest species in the world. A bonsai tree is simply a tiny, manicured tree placed in a pot.
Trees are cool because it takes a lot of time to get them to look this way.
With the exhibit's educational workshops and all the staff on hand, you'll probably learn more about bonsai trees this weekend than you ever thought imaginable. Find more info on tmj4.com.
All of us could go on and on with this stuff. There's a bunch of things.
Well, all that work to grow a tree might be worth it, because the best ones, believe it or not, can be worth as much as $1 million. Now that is a long-term investment. Making a better world through beer. That's what a Wisconsin female brewmaster is trying to do. She's also trying to make history. Shannon Sims explains.
Giant Jones Brewery is a labor of love for Jessica and Erica Jones.
I have this unbalanced fascination. Like, I want to just make beer always. Like, I'm so fascinated by the process. And also, Erica was really impressed that I was into beer, and the more I knew, so it was just like trying to get Erica to fall in love with me.
Right before the pandemic, the pair opened their brew house in Madison. When COVID hit, the tasting room was empty.
The hardest thing was not seeing people drink our beer. Actually seeing their face when they try a beer, one of our beers for the first time, is just like mind-blowing.
Customers are back, and those we spoke with say it's hard to pick a favorite.
She has such a fine-tuned taste, so she gets all the nuances of the beer style.
But Jessica is quick to tell you Giant Jones is more than just a beer. It's a social movement in every bottle.
In no way are we trying to make a commodity product. We're trying to make a better world, a world that's worth caring for.
Through beer.
Through beer.
The faces on the labels represent unknown and unrepresented groups.
There just aren't non-binary people represented on beer labels, right? Like, it makes a difference when you can see yourself in a world, which is part of the reason that it's important to tell the stories of women in beer.
Currently, there are only 2 other female brewmasters in Wisconsin. The Pink Boot Society is hoping to change that.
Cheers!
Using beer to bring women together and learn more about the beer industry.
Measuring the sugar inside that beer.
Kelsey Moses is a member of the Pink Boot Society. She works at Lakefront Brewery. Recently, she created her own beer, now on tap.
Was able to get in there, opening bags of grain, dumping them in, dumping in salts, dumping in the hops. My turn, Moses. That's going to be a pale ale with ginger, elderberry, and blueberries.
Ooh, it sounds delicious.
Yeah, little fruity, little spicy, just like me.
Back in Madison, Jessica believes the product can only get better with more diversity in the beer industry.
Until it reflects the actual demographics of society, it's only realizing a fraction of its potential. We're only seeing the creativity of such a small slice of society in beer. When we finally have everybody involved in a process, then we really see what's really possible.
And we do have a fun fact. The Pink Boot Society says beer was first brewed by women. It did not become a male-dominated industry until the late 1700s and early 1800s. So who knew? Well, we've got great stories ahead this morning, including one about some unexpected therapy partners. Also ahead, he's not a student, he's not a professor, but his affection for Marquette University is inspiring. I'm going to tell you about a man born in Belize who is grateful for the American dream.
I don't have a drop of family here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at all. So when I come on this campus, I know I'm at home.
But before we go to a break, don't forget lunch with me every Wednesday at 12:30. Every week I talk to somebody who's doing good in the community, someone who inspires and is truly positively Milwaukee. Last week I talked to Linda Kohler, President and CEO of Sharp Literacy. The organization is working hard to make sure every child is confident and a capable learner. We also talked to her about the Urban Greenhouse Project at 64th and Silver Spring. Don't forget, you can join me for lunch every Wednesday. Leave your questions for my guests. I'd love to hear from you. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Positively Milwaukee. It's not what you do, but how you do it. And a man who works at Marquette University is proving that. He's showing students and staff and everybody he meets that positive energy can give you the power to inspire.
Well, take it easy, man. Have a good one.
Wilmore Peters, responsible for emptying trash at Marquette University. But I quickly discover he's a campus treasure.
Hello there.
How you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Peter's, a custodian here since 2006, refuses to litter his mind with rubbish or negative thoughts.
We call it Keep It Clean at Marquette University.
His enthusiasm contagious. One boss says he makes the entire department look great.
We've had floods, we've had other disasters down here. Other people won't answer the phone, Will answers the call. When you need overtime, we're gonna have open houses, we're gonna have an event. Will always volunteer to work. That says a lot about his character and his work ethic.
Chris Bartolone is Assistant Director of Campus Services and Operations.
He's got a smile on his face, he's always positive. A student or a staff member, or even Dr. Lovell, whoever it is, might be down. You see Will, and he'll cheer you up. He'll bring out the positive. He'll find the positive in whatever's going on and make you feel better about yourself. He makes a choice every day to be positive.
That makes Will beloved and popular. He's known for listening to students and staff.
Anybody that go through anything, they're gonna have a smile out of me. I guarantee you that. I'm not gonna make them feel sad. I lift them up in some kind of way so life will be bright for them in the future.
Born in Belize, he came to this country in 1984. Wilmore was raised by a single mother and grandmother. They taught him to treat people the way he wanted to be treated.
Marquette has these values that I have also too, so it actually fit right in what I want to do.
Will moved to Milwaukee in 2006 with his ex-wife. He says they were here 2.5 years when she did something that broke his heart. They divorced. Will admits he succumbed to alcohol and depression. His life was literally in the dumpster.
I was basically eating out of trash cans. Almost lost my home. I was about 1 month away from foreclosure. My brother helped me to get me out of foreclosure. I have not missed a mortgage since then. It's two things that I always believe, that even though I went through my struggles, but I'm going to say it was other people that helped me get through my struggles. Being here on this campus, it gave me so much strength.
So much so that Will Peters earned the Difference Makers Award from Marquette University. His aim, simple: help others.
Not trying to get awards for it or try to get athletes for it, because I feel like people do those things, you're doing it for the wrong reason. Always do it from your heart and from your gut. And once you do that, those rewards will come.
Peters may not have a degree, but he has a PhD in positivity and common sense. Wilmore Peters is a natural educator, a custodian of community.
It's a great representation of Marquette as a whole. We tell parents and we tell students, we care. That's not a advertising slogan. Will lives it.
I don't have a drop of family here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at all. So when I come on this campus, I know I'm at home.
Peters admits he's a huge fan of Marquette basketball and Marquette students.
They had finesse and they played hard.
How's everything going for you today, sir? Good.
Will, these are his kids, and he takes care of them like they're his own kids. So we couldn't have been more proud, and he does great things every day.
I love this place.
For a man born in a different country, raised by a single mother, Wilmore Peters is a prime example that if we face our challenges with hard work and a positive outlook, the prize of the American dream will not be swept away.
It's not easy on this earth we live on. It's a lot of challenges. But if I can help, that's what I'm on this earth to do.
Such a wonderful man, and Will is hoping to create a foundation to help men learn life skills, living up to his calling to help others. Well, it's a holiday weekend, and we wanted to know how you're celebrating the end of summer. But first, we're going to meet our Positively Milwaukee Pet of the Week.
Hi, I'm Johanna Szymanski with HAWS, the Humane Animal Welfare Society of Waukesha County, and this week I'm featuring Jenny, who is one of our adoptable dogs of summer, which means she spent her summer with our camp kids, learning new skills and tricks out at our location in Delafield, the Shalleck Center for Animals. And she is now our last remaining available adoptable dog from that program. So Jenny is 1 year old. She obviously does well with children. She loves other dogs. She's extremely playful, and she would make a great addition to any family. We'd have to see how she'd do with cats. But other than that, we know a whole lot about her because we had the pleasure of getting to know her all summer long. Jenny has participated in our education programs, and although we're done with summer camps, we do have several other programs available through Haws throughout the year. So check out our education department at hawspets.org to see what offerings we have through the summer. Jenny is Positively Milwaukee.
Welcome back to Positively Milwaukee. When you think of therapy animals, you might picture a dog, but the Milwaukee Urban Stables is offering horses for therapy. James Groh shows us how.
And this is Hawkeye, and that's Fanny.
And opening up the stable is U.S. Army veteran Glenn Sharman.
You sure the viewers want to see this?
But it actually has been life-changing for him, and it's not all work like this.
I almost like myself better. I'm more at peace.
Glenn is talking about horse therapy. He's been doing it for a few years, and now there's a new space for it near Milwaukee's Bayview neighborhood called MKE Urban Stables.
But many of those services are offered in rural areas that people in the city can't access, and so what we wanted to do is provide the ability for people in our city to access this type of therapy.
Horses are good for therapy because they have the ability to identify and mirror someone's emotions, and it takes trust on both the person and horse's end to be able to work with each other. MKE Urban Stables will give alternative therapy options to both youth and veterans. Equine therapy is good for trauma victims, emotional support, those with special needs, and for people with disabilities. Plus, the space also houses the Milwaukee Police Department's horses. They aren't therapy horses. The goal is to help establish community relations between officers and the general public. They already brought in a group of students.
And then we showed the students how to groom the horses, and we allowed the students to also give them some treats. And then I talked a little bit about that officers are here for you.
There is a lot going on at MKE Urban Stables, but it's all based on the same concept, that there's a certain intangible quality animals have that makes overcoming obstacles a little easier.
That is true, and humans have been working with horses for more than 5,000 years, so maybe that's how they know how we feel. Labor Day marks the end of summer and one more celebration before the fall. So we decided to ask you, what are your Labor Day weekend plans?
Just going out to the lake, and my son's coming into town from Washington, D.C. All good. Staying in the backyard and going to the lake.
We're just trying to see everything in Milwaukee. Our boys love to explore the city.
We thought about maybe going swimming in the lake. We haven't been in Milwaukee in a long time, so we thought we'd do the waterfront here.
I would like to just go out on a boat and, just enjoy the water. I like a good cookout. I haven't had that since I've been here. Just enjoying the sun and people going to the beach, hanging out.
Be going out of town. Yeah, doing some UTVing in the North Woods. So getting out of here and enjoy some time away.
Well, when it was like nice weather right now, I would like to walk in, maybe swimming for a little bit, Yeah.
A bratwurst that's correctly grilled outside. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. And live music.
Oh, that would be
free.
Yeah, and a beer garden.
I bet I could find that.
No, not me. I have 3 loads of laundry to do.
Well, let's hope that nice woman got her laundry done. We all have that all the time, don't we? Well, it is time to have some fun. Tell us more about your Labor Day traditions on our Positively Milwaukee Facebook group, or send us an idea that you would like us to ask next week. Well, Milwaukee is full of amazing people doing positive things for their neighbors, and that's why you Our first reason to smile this morning, we need your nominations for our Positively Milwaukee Awards. Now, you might remember one of our past award winners, Joe Flick. He helped organize a Pedal for the Brave Memorial Bicycle Ride, a 170-mile journey to the Fallen Firefighter Memorial in Wisconsin Rapids. This fundraiser honored a fellow firefighter who died of duty-related cancer. The event was part of Ignite the Spirit, which provides physical and emotional support for firefighters.
At the end, you remember the people that were there for you, and you remember the impact that it made. As this grows, I hope that it gives people a chance to interact with their firefighters more, to learn more about our fire department, the people who work for it, the jobs that we do.
Joe is so wonderful. If you know someone else who is Positively Milwaukee just like Joe, go to tmj4.com/awards. You can nominate them. You can do so until midnight, September 13th. And you can choose from 7 categories to nominate someone you think is perfect for Positively Milwaukee. And another great reason to smile, free books for families in Milwaukee neighborhoods. Barbara Serta, or Barbie the Book Fairy, used grant money to build and install 10 of these free little libraries. They're all over the city. She filled them with books featuring diverse authors and characters. Barbie says books can increase a child's self-confidence. She believes it's important that kids see themselves in the stories they read. And Barbie is just one of the great people in our area supporting childhood literacy. You can also help because every dollar you give during our If You Give a Child a Book campaign will support the Next Door Foundation of Milwaukee, a fantastic organization. Just go to tmj4.com/books or text 4BOOKS to 345-345. You will get a link to our donation page. I'm going to be back with my quote of the week. A nation's greatness is measured by how it treats its weakest members. This week's quote comes from Mahatma Gandhi, the famed Indian leader who used nonviolent methods to free his country from British rule. Gandhi disagreed with how the British government treated its Indian citizens. Many were poor and uneducated. Well, you may never face circumstances as challenging as Gandhi, but you can remember his message. Treat everyone well as you would treat yourself. I hope you remember that this week. And as always, stay positively Milwaukee.